And it says, we are live. I'm here. You're beautiful. It's Thursday night. That must mean it's time. GotBot Goes live. I, of course, am your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, a.k.a. GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe. And while you are at it, light them up, baby. Hit the notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton and lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that's in the description down below. Also in the description down below. And if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through Spring, or of course, hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. Last week, we had a pretty in-depth conversation going on, and some of my technology sort of gave, I can't even say the technology gave out, because we came back and we just picked up where we left off. So I'm hoping that that's fixed. We did a couple of things. Starscream wife cleaned a couple of things. She done a little bit of work. Let's hope that it fixes the issue. But if we end up freezing, I think my go-to from here on out will be, if that happens, I will end the stream and we will like do a new one, like a part 2, and just pick it up. I don't know why it happens. I'm still trying to figure it out, but hopefully it doesn't happen tonight. Let me see here. Who is where? Let me get all of this over her, and then I will let you know in just a moment what it is that we will be kind of diving into here tonight. Hey, Dragonfly Manitoba. Be safe on the roads, my friend. Hey, Timmy. Hey, H&E Game Break. Look at Anthony breaking out the game break. Hey, Waspinator. Marcus. Big M. Tetranova. Guess it's because you're in Canada. Maybe. Starscream wife. What? Threatens computers with an axe. Don't put her to past her. There was a while ago that she was talking about getting a little hatchet. I don't know if she did it or not. I don't remember. The ghosts were playing with GotBot's doorbell. Oh, yeah. So last week. So I didn't really figure out what the doorbell issue was. I did end up changing the batteries in both of the actual buttons. And that seems to have worked. We'll see. But I don't know if that was supposed to be an indication of low battery. The funny part is, though I changed those batteries, when I would press the buttons, the doorbell would reply to those, like respond to those buttons, but it would also respond without the button being pushed. It was really weird. It was so strange. I was editing a video and forgot to switch back. Oh, yeah, that'll do it. Okay, so tonight we're going to, you know what? Funny enough, there's not that much visually tonight to kind of address. So why don't we kind of do that first and get that out of the way? What? Get used to the tech issues once you are the 51st state. Not a chance. Just so we're abundantly clear on that, there's nobody in Canada that's remotely interested in that. Not even a little bit. But you know what? We were certainly happy to try and send firefighters to help out in California, because, you know, we know that it's about people first, right? And I think everybody in this community here tonight knows that. It's funny. Earlier this week, when I shared around the Buzzworthy Bumblebee video again, because I told you guys last week, I said I would reshare my Cosmos and my Buzzworthy Bumblebee. And one guy said, if fans are requesting for you to redo the review, why don't you just redo it? I'm like, because it's the exact same content. Like, it would be clickbait to the extreme. I would not be offering any more value, because my thoughts are exactly the same as they were when I reviewed it 3 years ago. And he said, well, that video was rough. And I was like, how? I actually went back and watched it. Nothing was out of focus. He was like, well, sometimes like part of the figure was off frame and stuff. And I'm like, no, not when I was showing transformation parts. I showed exactly what I wanted to show. And I don't see a point in kind of almost fleecing people into watching me re-review something that I already have a review of. I just thought it made more sense to share it around. And I said to that individual, you and I probably have different goals for our channels. My goal is not to get subs as the be all end all, get as many as I can and do anything I can to get. That's not my goal. My goal is to be an information source, and my goal is to help you guys make the best buying choices you can. And I said to that individual that I believe, and I do believe this, that here, around here, tonight, right here, right now, that this is the absolute best online community on the internet. And I stand by it. I absolutely believe that with every fiber of my being. So, like I said, let's do the stuff that we're going to look at first. So I'm going to share this. Boom. And we're just going to go down through a couple of things here. A lot of this I'm actually going to skip over. But since we're here, I gotta take this, guys. Give me one moment. Talk amongst yourselves. Anyway, let's actually start right here. Right here we have the Adamas Machina Predaking next to the Rodimus, Hot Rod, whatever it is. And I think this looks pretty cool altogether. However, you may notice kind of down bottom of this image that you can see kind of other ones. Now, Big M actually had it up, I think, on his Facebook, if you didn't check it out, where we saw the alt modes and we saw the robot modes. Razor Claw is, for some reason, huge compared to the 4 Limbots. And a lot of people said, this Predaking is going to be the size of the regular mainline combiners. Absolutely not. He is definitely, I'm going to say 15 inches, possibly 16 if we include the wings. He's next to this Rodimus here. You guys can see it as good as I can. That Rodimus, a lot of people mistakenly said that Rodimus was 7.5 inches. He's not. He's 23 to 25 centimeters. So he's somewhere around between 9 to 10 inches. He's a big boy. He's like old school leader. This Predaking is definitely more than 3 inches taller than this Rodimus. I'm going to say he's 15. If you think that this Predaking is going to stand in with your main line, I think that you're going to be disappointed because he's definitely bigger. Is he too big to look awkward with the main line? No. Do I think that he is intended to be more MP scaled? Hard to say, because is MP scale really a thing anymore with the whole MPG? I do certainly think he's meant to scale with Raiden. I would definitely say he's meant to scale with Raiden, and Raiden is bigger than the mainline combiners as well. We're not going to do that. I guess I'll take a second to show this. This is the shattered glass version of Optimus Prime of the MP44 mold. Nothing really new to see. He doesn't come with the trailer. You know, nice looking truck. He does have the broken window. I don't know why this is circled. I guess for the battle damage. He does have the "Till All Are Gone" written on his roof, which I guess that's neat. I don't know. I mean, I'm not into MP, so this wouldn't be for me. But if it's for you, cool. You know, neat looking truck. I'll give credit where credit is due. I do like the battle damaged head. I think that's neat. I like the green Energon axe. I think that's neat. The box looks cool. Looks cool for what it is. Then we have this, and I want to talk about this. This is the DNA Design Galvatron kit. And the Galvatron kit is really cool, but this one is different than the other ones, not just in color. It's different in 2 ways. Now, It's weird because if you read the kind of description down at the bottom, it says, note, because of remolding, this kit is not compatible with earlier versions of Galvatron. So apparently this kit is not compatible with the Legacy, the Kingdom, or the Selects version of Galvatron. This is specifically for the Studio Series 86. Now, I can't imagine why it wouldn't be compatible with the other Galvatrons, since their molds are exactly the same. There is nothing changed. So that being said, the only things that are different here is you'll notice the two hands. The two hands actually now have pointer fingers. On the other kits, the fingers are base pin knuckle and they're all bent. But the index finger is now a pointer finger. And the new head, instead of just being the helmet, it's the helmet and his, well, we call them horns. And they're a little more, instead of being kind of squared off like they are on Galvatron, these ones are, I don't want to say it's sharp, but they're certainly a little more pointed because, I don't know, I guess it's more accurate, I suppose. And of course, there's the blast effect. Everything else is the same as the other releases. You can see here, I do like this. You'll notice with the face, you might notice that he has like a little black like goatee down there. He's supposed to have that. I don't know why they didn't do it on the 86. He's supposed to have that little soul patch. I don't know what it is down on his chin. He has a smiling, like a laughing face, a smirking face, and then a stoic face. But I don't really like the stoic face. I also am a bit bothered by this kit when it comes to the ankle upgrade. I've seen the ankles put on the, I think the Kingdom one, the one with the battle damage. And I feel like that color gray actually matches this gray better. If you look at his ankles, I feel like the ankles are a much lighter gray, almost a white compared to the gray that's on his lower leg. Maybe that's just me. But I don't like the ankle upgrade here. I'm not going to lie. Here you can see the hands. The Kingdom one, if you got in close enough, you'd see that all four fingers are kind of bent. The Studio Series 86 one, as you can see, he can point if that's important to you, I guess. And I suppose not for nothing, but you could see the head pretty nicely there as well. And you can see like it's a little more accurate in terms of shape, right? No doubt about it. I think the other ones should have had a head like that, honestly, but whatever. A chain for the Matrix. I think the one he comes with is fine, but if you just want like a loose chain for the Matrix, I mean, I guess you got that. This is one of those options like with the other one. And like here you can see the first Galvatron is the 86 with nothing done to him. The second one has the upgrade kit on. And the third one is the like Kingdom Legacy with the upgrade kit on. But look at the ankles on the Kingdom Legacy one. I feel like that gray would actually match the 86's gray even better, personally. And you'll also notice that the shoulders of the like Legacy one are filled in. There's like fillers to go into little rectangular vertical slots on the shoulders. It looks like this 86 kit does come with that, but none of the pictures show those pieces put in the shoulders. So I don't know, make of that what you will, I guess. And the alt mode is the alt mode, right? It is what it is. Not a big deal. This was what I wanted to show. So you can see the size here. I don't think that's a foot. I think that it's more, especially with the wings, I think it's going to be more like 15 inches. But when we go down here, I feel like the alt modes are fine. You know, they're going to be fairly big. They are what they are. This is grayscale. It's hard to say. But look at the robot modes. In the middle, you have Razor Claw. And I don't know what's on his shoulders. As Big M did in his post, he circled it and said, and what are these things? I would assume they're feet, hands. I would assume they're parts of Predaking. And then you have the other four limbots that come up to about his waist. I get that the torso should be bigger. I agree the torso should be bigger. I mean, we've had Voyager torsos and deluxe limbs for a long time, but this almost feels like a leader class torso and like Legends class limbs. It's so weird. I need to see this with color. I'm sure it's expensive. Then we have this thing. I don't like these. You know that I don't like when they take Transformers and make them girls. I guess it's cool that this can open and it does have a matrix. There's a lot of display options. It comes with like 3 or 4 faces, something like that. This is actually called the, make sure I get it right now. This is actually called the, where is it? The Cross Flame Girl Optimus Prime, her Mekani Shinoda model kit by Koto Bukiya. Man, I hate trying to say these words because I know I'm butchering them. It has a matrix. It has leg wheels if you want her to be mobile. 4 faces and the Energon Axe, the Ion Blaster. Anyway, it's due in June if you're interested in it. I'm not. I don't. It's not for me. If it's for you, cool. Rattrap. MP Rattrap. We talked about this sort of, I think, last week. Rattrap or Rattle, if you prefer. Looks great here. I still don't know the size for sure, though we have seen him displayed with other MP Beast Wars offerings. So if you're into the MP Beast Wars, you will get a good idea of how this guy scales. As I look at this guy, I keep getting this sense that he's very much like the Generations, but like when we look at the Rat, for example, and we know the Rat has like 2 heads, right? Or 2 faces, whatever. But like, look at those front paws. You can see that there's like a shoulder hinge there for them to go in. I really, really wish that instead of just being stuck on like they were in the Generations, that there had been one hinge in there for his front paws to be able to go in front of his body. I do think that that's a nice touch, but this Rattrap looks great. By the way, there's also 2 robot faces, one with an open mouth and one with a not so open mouth. Let me just check in with you guys because I know you've been talking and I've certainly been missing some stuff. Let's see. Let's go up here just a bit. Same goes for Greenland. Yeah, they're not interested. No, they're not. Not at all. Albert. Happy to see you here, my friend. Who's up for the Spinister Topspin duo? We're going to talk about that. Actually, I'm explicitly going to talk about Spinister and Topspin just a little bit later. I would say this: if you do not have either of those molds, or if you only have one of those molds, get it. We'll talk about it in a bit, but man, get them. That's what I'm going to say. I think they're $49.99 US. Definitely, absolutely worth it. We'll talk about it in just a few minutes and why it's worth it. Hey, Fire Prime. It is why I have not re-reviewed my highest viewed videos. I do not think that I have anything more to offer. No, me either. I Origins Bumblebee is wonderful. If I felt like I could add extra value, I would. Cosmos is great. If I felt like I could add extra value, I would. The Coneheads, Dirge and Ramjet, they're fine. If I felt I had extra value to add, I would have, instead of just sharing the review I already did. Same goes for Galaxy Shuttle. If I had anything else to offer, I would, but I don't. So why not just share the review I did? Same with Trypticon, same with Scorponok. It'll be later on, it'll be the same. It was the same with Fort Max as well. And later on, it's going to be the same thing with Omega Supreme. As a matter of fact, I actually compared Omega Supreme to Wei Jiang's Ultima Guard and went really in depth and even talked about Gabriel, which is DX9s, and talked about the Fans Toys Terminus Giganticus along with it. So like I did a pretty in-depth thing with that Siege Omega Supreme. I don't have anything more to add. What I believe then, I still believe now. Looking forward to getting Spinister and Topspin. Yeah. I'm up for that Spinister 2-pack as I missed him the first time, and he is priced ridiculous now. Absolutely. TFW Boo only read T-Formers news. So do I normally, but every single time I try to use T-Formers and share it here, we get major tech issues. But absolutely, I find that they do an excellent job there with the pictures, especially. Really, really nice job. Bacon does a lot of work there. Excited going to see what? Going to see Bush and Filler in May. I don't know what Bush and Filler is, but congratulations, I suppose. Bear with me here. Okay. The G2 breakdown and Armada Wheeljack in. Oh, got G2 breakdown Armada Wheeljack in. I mean, I'm not going to call that Wheeljack. It's obviously no. It's obviously, if it's anybody, it's Ricochet or Step or whatever you want to call him. There's nothing about that that's Wheeljack. I get it, it's Armada Wheeljack, but man, it's why I don't like Armada. Hope you enjoy it. As for the G2 breakdown, I don't like that mold. I really don't. But I'll say this: it's definitely better than the mold that was used for breakdown in Combiner Wars. Absolutely. And the G2 does have a pretty cool color scheme. I'll give it that. Weird buzzing noise there? Probably. My guess is that what you're hearing is the heater over to the side here. That might come across as a bit of a buzzing. And it's actually really cold out tonight, so you probably do hear it kicked in. Especially where the microphone is positioned. I'm still trying to work with where to position the microphone. Methinks some peeps see inches larger than they actually are. I think so too. Like a lot of people were saying that no, it's going to scale with Minosaur stuff. I'm like, it's absolutely not. Absolutely. As somebody who specifically bought Unique Toys Warlord because it was the closest thing to matching with mainline combiners, I can guarantee you that there is no other Predaking out there that is that close. I would venture to say that this one will be probably amongst the closest, but I would venture to say that this is probably going to be similar in size to maybe Feral Rex, the official Feral Rex. I think it's going to be similar in size to Feral Rex more than mainline combiners. I hope those idiots of the government don't send invasion plans to Canada. Here's the thing. You know, and I don't like talking about it, but like, it makes no sense. Canada and the US have had a very good, mutually beneficial relationship for a long time, where we trade things that the other country doesn't have. Case in point, let me give you a very simple, just one tiny simple example. Actually, I'll give you two. A lot of the electricity that comes into New York comes from Ontario. The Premier of Ontario has already said if these tariffs come in, he will stop the flow of electricity to New York City. It's as simple as that. New York will go dark, and it will be because of the tariffs. It's really as simple as that. Let me give you example number two. The U.S. has a lot of steel plants. Some cities, some states, have a lot of manufacturing steel. Steel requires iron ore. The U.S. does not have accessible deposits of iron ore. Canada does. Newfoundland and Labrador does. And the iron ore that's used in steel plants in the U.S. comes from, that's right, Canada. You know how long it takes to set up an iron ore mine from scratch? At least 18 years. There's no way that any plant is going to be able to stay open without importing iron ore. They're not going to last for 18 years. Now, let's just say that the decision is made, well, we're not going to import it from Canada. Do you know where the other biggest deposits of accessible iron ore are right now in the world? China. So if you're not getting it from Canada, you're going to have to import it from China, which, for the record, is exactly what China wants. So, like, you have to be realistic and you have to look at the totality of global relationships and global economics. And I don't think that's what's happening. I hope it does in the end. Anyway, moving on. Hey, Lance. Even though it's not tune accurate, I still don't mind if Predaking is larger than the other combiners. And that's fine. If you don't mind that, that's cool. But that's not scaling with the other combiners. It's just you accepting that it's bigger. It's like me with Combiner Wars Devastator. I just accept that it's bigger. Wonder how much that kit is. The Galvatron kit, I would say look at what the price was for the previous Galvatron kits for Selects and for Legacy. And I'm sure it's going to be in the same ballpark as what they were. I don't know what that price is, to be honest with you. But I know if I didn't say it already, buddy. I finally got 86 Optimus Prime. Oh, good for you. And you got a good one. Good for you. I'm happy that you got one because your others had such wild issues, man. I live near the Canadian border. If they try to send military through here, I will have marbles, thumbtacks. You'll pull Kevin McAllister, hey? Yeah, that first copy was a hot mess. You're right. I do not have good news. California fire is. I do not have good news. California fire is cooking. Thank God I'm not. Yeah, the California stuff it's scary, is what it is. I mean, you stop and think. I know that California is, near the Pacific, and I know that it doesn't get snow and stuff. But like at the same time, let's stop and consider for a moment that this is January in the northern hemisphere, not the southern. In the northern hemisphere, this is January, and you have wildfires going on. Wildfires in January. That's crazy to me. To me, that's scary. Kingdom Legacy Galvatron's fists were molded too narrow. Do you mean too small? I always found his fists a little bit too small. I could see the appeal of getting new fists. I don't know if I'd want to spend a whole upgrade kit, but I can understand the appeal of new fists. I get that. Lame model kit. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that model kit either, but I mean, to each their own. I don't want to. It's not for me. That's all I'm going to say. Rattrap looks so good. You can hear him say, "We're all gonna die." Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Shut up, Rattrap. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that too. No such thing as luck. So we go down here a little bit. Probably going to grab the Spinister 2-pack. Missed out on Siege Spinister. Found something funny this morning. My mom was listening to what I've done. Oh, to what I've done by Linkin Park. Despite some recent events, I won't say much. Oh, okay. Buzzing again. The buzz. It might be the heater. Oh, it might have been, it might have been feedback from my phone. Oh, yeah, I never even thought of that. Sorry about that, guys. I should have thought about that. I will defect to Canada if my country does something that dumb. Canada and U.S. friends since 1812. Trade with Canada is what gives the U.S. the fresh maple syrup. A lot of stuff, and not for nothing. Canada obviously gets things in return that we can't produce and get ourselves either. It's you know what? The North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA, was a wonderful thing until somebody decided, oh no, we're going to tear that up. That's no good. But it was working just fine for both countries, to be honest with you. I don't think Devastator should be a huge combiner. He's made of construction vehicles. Don't get what people's problem with that is. I agree with you. I don't think he should. The only reason that I accept Devastator, the Combiner Wars Devastator, I can't even say other versions of Devastator. The only reason I specifically accept the Combiner Wars version of Devastator is because the construction vehicles that he's made of are not models of your typical construction vehicles. I would suggest to you to look up construction vehicles in places like the Alberta oil sands. They are gigantic. The dump trucks are gigantic, and specifically the sort of cement mixer that Combiner Wars Mixmaster is. not your typical cement mixer. That type of cement mixer is absolutely enormous. I think as big as that Devastator is, and as at a scale as that Devastator is, the only reason that I accept it and I am okay with it is because I know for a fact that the vehicles they're referencing are absolutely enormous by comparison. Otherwise, if you're going to use the traditional Devastator vehicles, he absolutely should just be the same size as other combiners. Absolutely agree. Am I going to get MPG Super Ginrai for $500 Canadian? Not a snowball's chance. Couldn't be less interested. I saw a review. I think he's cool. I like what is done with him for sure. I like that we have the cab that is the same size as 86 Optimus. I like that we have him in a nice solid combined mode, even if the ankle tilt is only like one click. I wish the backpack wasn't quite as backpacky, but it's to be expected with him. I prefer the cartoon. I'm going to say cartoon accurate head with the blue eyes. I like the red and blue hands over the all blue hands. I even like the base mode. And I like the little Ginrai or Haikyuu, whatever you want to call him. But there's no way that that's worth $500. I'm sorry, it's just not. If it was 150, 200 even, probably. But for 500, no, not a chance. And that's 500 Canadian, of course. Oh my gravy, people freaking out over nothing. Let's keep politics out of Transformers. I don't know if I would say it's nothing. I'll say that. I don't know if I would say it's nothing. There have been some pretty big, dangerous threats made. But this isn't the place to address it. You're right. Commander Class Beast Wars, Universe Magmatron. What? Oh, is Commander Class Beast Wars, Universe Magmatron a combiner? Not really, no. He has... His body splits into 3 different alt modes, 3 different dino modes, but it's all the same sentience. It's all his consciousness. It's kind of like Vile and Jiger. He switches into 3 modes, or like the Duocons, right? They have 2 alt modes, but 1 consciousness. So he's not really a combiner. No. Would be cool if they repainted MPG Rattrap into Pack Rat. Probably, and I wouldn't be shocked if they done that, to be honest with you, Masterfire. Hey, Francis. Okay, so let's move on and try and get through what we can here now. Like I said, there's not a lot in terms of images I wanted to show. You know what? Why don't we talk about 3 things right now with one? So, Transformers 1, first thing to note, because I actually have 3 bits of news here for 1, and I might as well do all of it now. First thing to note is that Transformers 1 is up for 2 Visual Effects Society award nominations. Those awards will take place February the 11th of this year, of course. And they basically honor exceptional work in animation. And whether you liked Transformers 1 or not, the lighting, the shading, and the movement design of the characters was great. But more importantly than that, the vibrant nature of Cybertron, of the world that was built, was incredibly detailed and incredibly colored. Additionally, Transformers 1 is also going to have some additional fiction by way of a stop-motion series called Transformers 1 New Adventures. And this series will be offered on Hasbro's YouTube channel, and it's going to be done by The Soul Publishing, whatever that is, whatever that company is. They will premiere on Fridays and Saturdays. It'll run for 14 episodes, and the very first episode is going to start tomorrow, January the 17th. So I'm excited about it because I love Transformers 1. So I'm excited to see what this additional 14 episode story will be and how long these episodes will be. I assume that they'll be small. Time will tell. I'm glad they're up for a couple of nominations. And the final piece of Transformers 1 news is that according to stats and metrics coming in from Paramount Plus, they are doing well, or the film is doing well on the streaming service on as of January the 14th, which was 2 days ago, they were ranked number 8 for streaming content on Paramount Plus. So breaking Paramount Plus's top 10. I think that that's how a lot of people that didn't want to necessarily spend the money or couldn't spend the money in theater are going to see it. I think a lot of people are going to stream it that way. So there you go. Not all bad news for fans of Transformers 1. That's more of Rattrap. I don't need to talk about that. This was just an interview with Industrial Light and Magic about the work that they did on Transformers 1. These things, we talked about these things a little while ago, and these are the like little 5 centimeter, I think, 2-packs where it's 2 robots that smash together for one alt mode, and you can see there Optimus and Ultra Magnus. Optimus is the front, Magnus is the back. But let's go down here where we have a few of these images. So like this is, I think, Shockwave and Megatron, I think. Bumblebee and who is that? Hot Rod, I believe. Tigatron and Cheetor. Yeah, Shockwave and Megatron. Right? This is Tigatron and Cheetor together as a cat. Earlier we saw the truck that was Megatron and Shockwave. You get the idea of how this will go. Optimus and Magnus. Magnus is the back of the truck. Optimus is the front of the truck. This is not for me. Cute little idea, but absolutely not for me. It's like a take on BotBots, right? This was the unboxing video of Omega Prime, and you know what? I saw it, and I was like, he looks glorious, but seeing the unboxing video made me feel like he's smaller than I thought he was. He's 2 commander classes and a deluxe, but I feel like watching Evan and whoever that lady was, I felt like he was smaller than he should be. And then he takes out the great big 2-foot sword, and I'm like, man, that handle is gigantic, but the blade is tiny by comparison. I don't know. I want to see a lot more than this unboxing, but I didn't feel like the unboxing helped establish the grandiose nature that this guy should have as a crowdfunded project. It just looked like 3 bots to me that easily could have been released at retail. I just don't know. I need to see more. The unboxing did not blow me away. Now then, let's get in here for a moment, shall we? Because there's a ton of images we've seen of this now. I just want to talk about these pretty quickly, really. So we have the 2-pack here of Spinister and Topspin. I already said get them. They're both splendid molds. Very, very excellent molds. A lot of people missed out on Twin Twist, so they got the Diaclone Color Twin Twist. Honestly, if you have the Diaclone Color Twin Twist, why not add the Topspin? Because he's fantastic. Every bit as good, if not better, than that Twin Twist mold. The Spinister mold, I have said it before. He was easily one of my top figures of 2019. And to this day, he's still one of my absolute favorite. Whether you have the original with the purple arms and the blue, I guess, lower body, or this one with the more black lower body and the blue arms and the blue face instead of the teal face, it doesn't matter what version of the mold you have. Just get a version of Spinister. He's really great. I have Spinister and I have Rotor Storm, and I love them both. Dearly love them both. But we're going to talk about that a little bit more in just a little bit, so I'm not going to belabor it now. I think these are an Amazon exclusive. Trypticon here, I mean, it looks great in base mode. Admittedly, I do think I prefer the translucent green on the main strip, only because it looks more like more is going on with it. It looks more like a bridge. Like seeing through it, you can almost see where the sections are. That said, though, like this looks splendid. Like I would have no reason if I didn't have my Titans Return or my Titans Return had QC issues or something, and I was like, man, I want it replaced or whatever, I would totally be in for this. Additionally, I'll say this, in the US, he's going to be $199. Now, a lot of people have said that the original showed up at Ollie's for $50. So they're like, this seems overpriced. I don't know what the regular retail was when Trypticon released. I can only go on the numbers for Canada. The original Trypticon in Canada was $229. I think I got mine on sale for like $208. So I was interested to see what his price would be this time around. In Canada, that 199 US is translating differently in different places. I've seen him as high as $285, but I've seen him as low as $272. Most places seem to be going with $275. So we're looking at about a $50 increase. And you know what? I'm not angry about it because 8 years later, $50 the difference. Yeah, I think that makes sense. If you don't have Trypticon, get this. And not for nothing, but when you open him up like this, he does have the Titan's Return connectors, not the Siege connectors, the Titan's Return connectors. So you could take your Overlord, for example, and add him to this guy, or your Titan's Return Black Shadow and add him to this guy. When I done my review of Trypticon, I actually did at the time, like what my Ultimate Decepticon base was then. And I think I did it again when I reviewed Scorponok. And this guy, when he opens out in base mode like this, it's hard to tell here, but he's quite large. He opens out quite big. He really does feel like a base, feel more like a city, feel very, very interactive. And I mean, the dinosaur looks great. Even the ship mode looks really good. I'm not angry about any of this. I think it all turned out quite well. Like really, really good. And I can now confirm he actually has the asymmetrical towers like my Trypticon. And I like that because it makes the two towers just a little more unique. Yeah, if you don't have the original or you feel a need to replace the original, do it. I'm also happy to say, and I think me and Big M were talking about this, that he doesn't look as pink here. The purple is not as deep of a purple as we have on Titan's Return, but it is a nice shade of purple. Going on. Then we got this guy. So the two big blue pieces with the stacks on them go on the back of his legs. The hood and window section like turn around on his back. So I would say most of the robot is up underneath. You can take the, I guess the blue roof and that silver part over the windshield and either flip it up right behind his head and put on like a sword, or you can leave it down. When you leave it down, the guy has a hella backpack, which we'll see in a few minutes. I'm not blown away by this. I think I actually prefer the original Voyager. My son has the original Voyager, and even though that one had a garbage knee bend, trash garbage knee bend, look at the leg here. Look at all the junk on the back of the leg. I'm not convinced that the knees are going to be much better here. And I feel like there's a sea of gray on the body and the head. Some of that definitely should have been picked out in silver, if you ask me. I'm not blown away by that. A reissue of Shockwave, I'm not buying it because they did me dirty once. I've talked about this guy in the past. It's fine Shockwave. Then we have Jazz. Now, I have my Jazz here, and I'll show them when the screen is a bit bigger. I am curious if the front wheel wells of the new one here are going to just be the exact same thing, or in terms of the plastic that was used, or if they're using a different plastic, because the front wheel wells here look a little shinier than they did before. So I'm a bit intrigued. Will this guy yellow like the other one is known to do? Well, if you believe that the other one yellowed, then hopefully this guy won't. But even that was spotty. Some people say it's not even that it yellowed. Some people say it depends on the light and how fluorescent it is that you have them under and how it catches it. And that it's not so much yellowing as just a very poor mismatch of white plastics and paints. I'm not sure which is true. I'm doing a lot of looking. Like, I feel like mine is a little yellowed, but I don't know. Am I going to get this? No, I don't need it. I already have it. Devastation Optimus Prime. I think the neat little truck mode. I think a neat robot mode. Yeah, okay. The inside of the leg is a little hollow. You know, such is life. What are you going to do, right? I like the axe. I don't like the swoosh on the side of the axe as if he's whooshing it, right? Face is nice. I like that the tires, instead of just hanging out, actually fold into like the front of the leg. Interesting way to deal with that. Still has an ankle. Again, somebody said before, if you couldn't afford or couldn't find the Studio Series 86, why not get this guy? Certainly seems like a viable option if you ask me. And I think it looks good. Q. I actually wanted a Q because I liked Q in the film. And I think the car mode looks good. This doesn't. This looks cheap. This looks junk. This looks like something I would see at the dollar store. I don't believe he can bend his knee any more than what's there. I don't understand what's going on with the joints on his arms. Is that a mustache or is that his yellow teeth? I'm not impressed with the robot mode here. I mean, maybe I'll be surprised when I see it on the shelf, but I don't think that's great. Ironhide, however, looks great. Surprisingly, he has more remolded on him than I thought he would from Ratchet. He really wears the mold as his own, I gotta say. Pretty impressive. And I don't know, but he's slightly shorter than Ratchet. So yeah, they all look really good, honestly. Then we get down to the pictures from, or the stills from the like live stream or whatever. And like there's Top Spin, right? Like he looks great. They look great together. Top Spin and Twin Twist do look great together, no doubt. I don't know why Top Spin looks taller than Twin Twist. They're not, but okay. I assume that his headmaster still called Freeze Out. I would guess that's what he was called before. Spinister looks wonderful. The Optimus here, like I think it looks all right from the back. We got two tires up here, tires in the front of the legs. I'm okay with that. I think he looks all right. I'm not angry about him. I don't need him. I don't need a deluxe Optimus, but I do like that even his chest opens. There's even a matrix in there. I bet you that the you're going to hear the buzz again, guys. I bet you that the trailer would fit well with him. Pardon the buzz. No. Sorry about that. But I think it looks pretty good. Jazz is Jazz. But like here's what I mean. Like, look at Jazz here. Look at his thighs. Like, I don't feel like his thighs are as white as his chest and his forearms. My thighs aren't, but I don't feel like my thighs are yellow either. I just feel like they're slightly off-white, and I feel like they're slightly off-white here. Maybe I'm wrong. I have heard of the paint discoloring. I don't think my white paint has. I think mine's still good, but I've seen instances where it really looks discolored. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But like here, if you look at the front wheel well, I feel like it's not quite as matte as it was before. So maybe it's a different plastic used. Maybe not. I mean, here's Q. I think this just looks sad. He deserved better as far as I'm concerned. He deserved better in the film, and he deserved better for Studio Series. It's just, he feels like an afterthought to me. And that's too bad because I was really interested in him. But this just doesn't look good. Maybe I'll be surprised. Here we have Ironhide looks pretty darn great, I think. Honestly, I really, really like the guy. By the way, oh yeah, I bet the Trypticon price. There you go. Here they are side by side, and I feel like Ratchet's just a slight bit taller, just a couple of centimeters taller. Nothing major, just a couple of centimeters. I mean, Brains and Wheelie and Shockwave. I mean, Shockwave still looks great. Brains and Wheelie look great. The little parachute guy. I mean, nothing new. The Optimus. Now, the one thing I wanted to show you is this. Look at that backpack, man. Like, that's junk. Get out of here. And look at all the junk on the back of his knees. I don't know how deep those knees can bend. I'm not impressed with Optimus at all. Not even a little bit. I gotta be honest. Like, look how much this is sticking off, man. Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it. I want to like it, but I really don't. Trypticon looks splendid. And again, maybe a little fuchsia, but I feel like that it's not as pink as what it initially looked. It's not a deep purple, but I don't think it's quite as pink as what it was. Maybe you do think it's as pink as it was, but but I feel like it's a little more purple than what it was. Looks great. It looks great in Titans Return. It looks great here. It's kind of like with Galvatron. I don't think there's a bad choice. Whatever colors suit your fancy, get it. Same thing with Topspin. Whatever colors suit your fancy, get it. Same thing here with Trypticon. If you like this coloration better, get it. You know? I don't think I need it. But I don't think the price is outrageous for it. I really don't. I think that it's all quite reasonable, actually. So let's get at that. That was the biggest thing that I wanted to show in terms of images. I don't need to show that. Here's Rattrap with some other Beast Wars. Like, I don't know how big the Masterpiece Beast Wars stuff is. So if you do, then cool. But I don't know how big any of that is. We're going to talk about Diamond in a bit. Some new Funko Pops, if that's your thing. Cyclonus. Who do we have here? Cyclonus. Omega Supreme looks cool. I like the way that they've done the screen over his face. And Hot Rod. Hot Rod looks fine there with his little matrix, right? Trypticon images I'm not going to go through because I don't need to go through it. Same with Optimus. Top Spin Twin Twist. I think there's only one thing that I wanted to show. Actually, two things. I'll do this, I guess. So this is more of Silverbolt, and I don't hate it at all. But I can't say that I'm smitten with it either. Like, cool head sculpt. I do like the head sculpt, honestly. I don't like the whole skeleton thing, but I do respect and appreciate that his blaster actually has a hinge in it, so it can bend with his arm instead of like having to take up space with it or whatever. I like that. That's a nice little touch. Again, I'm looking at the planes on the back of the legs, and I'm thinking to myself, this is as deep as the knee is going to be able to bend. Look at the, like, planes on the legs. Now here, the legs are turned around so they're on the front. But you would have all of that sticking off on the back of the leg if you turned it the other way around. I don't know. Maybe it's for you. You can do this. They're saying you can do the Scramble City thing, but all you're really doing is taking off the entire arm skeleton piece of Silverbolt, and you're putting it onto Menasor, right? Because it's the same sort of connections and stuff. But again, it's just trading a skeleton for a skeleton to me, right? That's all it is to me. I think the plane looks all right. I do like that when this opens up, it kind of has a hint of like the start of an Autobot logo. I think that's cool. I don't know. Like, look at the bent knee here. Look behind. The nose cone of that plane is like off the plane. I don't think I like that. I don't think it's for me. If it's for you, cool, but I don't think it's for me. Not when I think the Combiner Wars is like a perfect combiner, honestly. And last image is this. So this company, D-Force, is that what it's called? D-Force, I think. Make sure I find it here now to tell you. Yeah, D-Force Muscle Rex. It's a legend size Fall of Cybertron Grimlock. They're doing a whole bunch of legend size Fall of Cybertron stuff. And this would look nice, for example, with your Metroplex, or if you have that insane W Resources Steel Fortress or whatever it's called, that 4-foot with his guns on his shoulders, 5-foot Metroplex. That thing's nuts. So besides for being huge, it, like, I don't know if anybody saw it, but like Ben from Ben's Collectibles, him and his son done like this unboxing and put it together. And it took like 2 of them to move parts on him and bend his arm and try and get him in, I can't even say some sort of a pose, but it was a lot to get to move him. And apparently he weighs something like 90 pounds. Like, you're talking about something that's like 4 to 5 feet and 90 pounds. Like, you're talking about a small human. It's advised not to leave it in robot mode, but I don't understand how you're going to put it in city mode and leave it anywhere. I don't see how you would do that. He suggested that this scale and like this Grimlock might look fabulous with that Metroplex. And maybe he's right. It looks like the parts of the legs, the knees, shins are up on his back, but that's okay. I do like the level of articulation. The back looks filled in and clean. We don't have hollowness and stuff. That looks really good. Great sword, great shield. Front on looks phenomenal. Like, look at the chest and head. Like, it looks really, really impressive. Really clean. And we close that. Okay, let me check in with you guys again here, because I know I've missed some stuff, and then we'll run through the rest of the news there, and I want to talk about those three bots just a little bit, and of course we'll do trivia. Oh, hey, Orga from Malaysia. Wow, thank you so very much for dropping by. I cannot thank you enough. I am absolutely honored. Golly. Let's see here. Those shorts are going to be hella tacky. Probably. I think you're probably right, Anthony. How far up was I? About here, I think. I'll wait until they do the KO of Ginrai. Now, that might be an option. That might be an option. All I can imagine if they had teleportation powers. Imagine if the HasLab was a violent jogger. That would be nuts. By the way, in the live stream, when they done the reveals, they did say that the next HasLab was going to be revealed at a con. What was the con? Because I wrote that down too. Heavens to Betsy. I know it's February 6th to the 9th, so it's pretty close. And why can't I find that now? Yeah, new HasLab project will be revealed at MegaCon, and that's February 6th to the 9th. I mean, let the speculation begin. No, I have no idea what it's going to be at all. So we go down here a bit. I know I'm skipping some stuff, guys, so stay with me. And I do apologize. Stop motion could be cute. Glad they're doing something with TF1. Me too. It's basically Transformers Robot Chicken. Maybe. We'll see, I guess. Soul publishing a bunch of dumb short videos for 5-year-olds. Okay, I don't know. I don't know the company. I've never heard of them. So I guess we'll see what happens with it, right? Oh, by the way, I didn't show it, but the mix mashers were shown. Do you remember Hero Mashers a few years ago that rotted on shelves? Mix Mashers are the exact same thing, except now they're called Mix Mashers, but they're the exact same thing as Hero Mashers that were done for Transformers already and that were done for, I think it was Marvel, if I'm not mistaken, where you take the body parts so you can mix them around, a la like Mr. Potato Head, right? Except it's the whole body. It's the same nonsense. I hate that they still have evergreen designs, but at least these look fun. Baby videos for babies. Micromaster combiners are back. Maybe. That's a rough way of saying it, but maybe. I wish I backed Omega Prime. I mean, a lot of people are with you, and I still stand by, even though it's smaller than I thought. I still stand by that. I think as far as HasLab projects go, this one was the most accurately priced for what you're getting. I really do believe that. We call her Lady Evan. Lady Evan. Evan and Lady Evan. That was good. Emily? Whatever. Who cares? Do they need names? They're corporate chills. Who cares if they have names? They're robots and automatons. They say what they're told. Like, how do you get excited we're going to show you Jazz. How do you get excited about this? You've done it once, and then you've done it in a 5-pack without the translucent plastic, and that was the big deal. We're removing the translucent plastic, and now you're doing it again with the translucent plastic. It's literally the same thing. Unless it's not going to yellow, it makes no sense. Now mine, as you can see, since I got it here, you can see like mine's still pretty darn white. I haven't really had the yellowing. Now, I did paint the 2 wheel wells because they were a little off color. While I'm going down through this, I'll transform this guy back so you can see the thighs and decide for yourself. But anyone else? What? Anyone see the Switch 2 was revealed earlier? No, I did not. But I can't say I'm surprised. I would think that it would be about time for that to come about, really. Which Topspin was his Titans Return colors? I'll get the pack for Spinister regardless. Truth be told, what? Burbank maybe canceled TFCon this year? Maybe. I think the Rose Bowl got canceled, or something related to the Rose Bowl, or the weekend related or canceled a concert, or I don't know. He canceled a concert or something, I think. I didn't really keep up on it that much to know how do I transform this guy back. It's been a hot minute. Give me a second here till I get him started, and then I'll check back there. I gotta unpeg that on the back, unpeg these, and take those off of the side. There we go. Extend the leg and extend the leg. He loves being a turtle. Hey, Ewan. I like the translucent green more, but the purple looks better than in the earlier pictures. Absolutely. I have Rotorstorm from Generation Selects. Excellent mold. But I'm all in for Spinister. Good. I wish they would release Thrilling 30s Metroplex. I feel like a lot of people want that. Like, I feel like that's a reissue that sooner or later, like, come on. Sooner or later, you got to do Metroplex, right? And I know a lot of people are like, why don't they do a G1 version? But like, that was already talked about. I don't think that's the route that they are going to go, unless they're going to do it as a HasLab, which I guess they might do. They could do. I seen online people were getting the old Trypticon for $12.99 at Ollie's. I wouldn't know. I don't have an Ollie's, right? The LG manga came up with a really cool fan mode for Trypticon. Yeah, they did, using the other end of him as like an opening gaping mouth, because when he's in ship mode, you can lift that up and like drive in full tilt, for example, and it looks like another dino mouth. That Optimus is a pass. The new Optimus looks so much better, or this new Optimus looks so much better. 44-step conversion. That's nuts. I am told what? I'm told I'm pregnant. Wow. I know someone who has a piano keyboard that's suffered BP. I don't know what that is. BPS. I don't know what that is. That Q is suffering serious lack of pain. I agree. It's mustache, is it? Okay, thank you. No, it's Q. Wheeljack will go directly to Ollie's. Possibly. I think the Devastation Optimus Prime is better suited to children, and maybe it is better suited to kids. You might have a valid point there, to be honest with you. How do I do this now? Do I push this down? It's been a hot minute, man, since I transformed this guy. I can't remember. Yes. Okay. I had to pick up the roof. I had to fold down that piece. And I have to turn the waist around and turn his tummy around. And we'll bring that down. We'll bring these down and out, and bring this arm down and out, and turn him around. And we're going to put that up inside, fold in his doors, and bring this down in the back. I just have to, what is it that I have done wrong now that his head doesn't want to come up? What have I got done to you, Jazz, that your head don't want to come up? Oh, there we go. Now I got it up. Oh, I thought I had it up. Gosh, it's been there. That's how I do it. Yeah, that's how I do it. Gosh, yeah, it's been a minute since I've done Jazz, honestly. But I did it from memory. Like, I don't know. Is he yellowed to you? You guys tell me. Does he look yellow? Like, I don't think he looks yellow. I think he still looks white. Yes, this is a little off, but I don't feel like it looks yellow. Maybe I'm nuts. I don't know. Maybe it is yellow, but I don't think it looks yellow. You guys tell me. You guys are looking at him. You guys probably got better eyesight than me, so you guys tell me. I want that Devi Prime. Q, he grew on me. I guess the reissue Metroplex may depend on how much Hasbro changed the mold, or maybe Fortress Maximus could be irreversible, possibly. Doesn't look yellow from here. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I'll even hold it up closer to the camera for you. Like, he doesn't look yellow, right? Like, I'm not insane, am I? That doesn't look yellow, right? So I know that people say it yellowed, but I don't think mine really did. Nope. Yeah, it doesn't look, yeah. Okay, so the roof, just be careful. I don't know, like, again, I know I was always the same thing, but like, you know, and people will talk about cracks and stuff here. I don't have any cracks. I don't have an issue with translucent paint or with translucent or clear plastic. Like, I've never had an issue with it. There are shovels here made of it. I don't know why people think it's weak. It's not any weaker than anything else. I don't know. I don't know. Didn't notice any yellowing. Doesn't look yellow from here, right? So it's not just me, I guess. Funny thing is, Razor Bear, what unimpressive the Fort Max mold is. No, I disagree. The Fort Max mold is very impressive. What wasn't impressive is the way that they officially transformed him into a base. Tons of fan modes. And he has so much that moves. I don't transform him into the official base because it's lame. I do one that looks a lot more G1-esque. I love Fort Max. Anyway, let's run through the news here to make sure I got everything covered. While I'm doing that, to make sure I got everything covered, I'm going to give you guys the trivia right now. And we're going to end with Spinister and Topspin and a note on Jazz. So the trivia. Which of the following, speaking of yellowing, which of the following have not had any known reports of yellowing? A, Shatterglass Soundwave. B, 86 Na. C, Legacy Bulkhead. Or D, Kingdom Dinobot. Which one, A, B, C, or D, has not had any reports of yellowing? Shatterglass Soundwave, A. 86 Na, B. Legacy Bulkhead, C. Or Kingdom Dinobot, D. We have a D, we have a C. I'm going to run through here. We did all of those reveals. We talked about it. We talked about MPG Rattrap. We talked about Trypticon's price. We talked about Silverbolt. We talked about the mass of that giant Metroplex. We talked about the Legend Scale Grimlock, the Mix Mashers, the new HasLab project, the Swapticons, the ILM review, the TF1 news, the Girl Optimus Prime, the Predaking, the DNA design sets. We only have 2 pieces of news left. Let's see. C. The answer is actually not C. C is Legacy Bulkhead. He actually did have reports of the gray yellowing. Mine hasn't. It was B. 86 Na. 86 Na. So the last 2 pieces of news, and then we can get out of here because, yeah, we're pretty much at the end of our time anyway. Hasbro Pulse Asia has shut down, and I, for one, am delighted at the news. I think it's wonderful news. For the love of God, And I saw this when everybody was like, the Trypticon is sold out. Like, stop going to Pulse. Stop buying from Pulse. Stop buying from Hasbro. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Tell everybody you know to stop it. Hasbro, absolutely. With the markup that they already put on, they do not deserve to take your money as a wholesaler, as well as a distributor, as well as a retailer, and then charge you a premium membership price, and possibly, if something's exclusive, another charge on top of that. That's 5 charges that they're putting on you. They're playing you for a sucker. Stop it. The only way Pulse can exist, the only way Hasbro, as the wholesaler, as the manufacturer, can exist in the retail space is if they are going to offer factory direct pricing. Factory direct pricing means you are getting the wholesale price. That's not what they do. They are scamming you. Stop letting them do it. Hasbro Asia is dead good. Glad to see it. Buy from anybody else. Support any other retailer whose business is retail, whose business model is retail. And tell Hasbro to keep their grubby hands to themselves and stay in their own lane. Learn how to distribute your product first and learn how to produce it without QC issues first, because you shouldn't be in retail. It's insulting to fans. I am delighted, tickled pink to see Hasbro Pulse Asia die. I hope all the other iterations of it die as well. Absolutely what Hasbro deserves. Glad to see it. Then, on a sad note, Diamond Comic Distributors filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Some people are definitely going to lose jobs there. There's a couple of local comic shops here that are also supplied by them. While Marvel and DC are not distributed by them, Skybound and Image certainly is, which means the G.I. Joe and the Transformers comics are going to have to find some new way to be distributed eventually. That said, for now, Diamond has assured, and I talked to some retailers about this, Diamond has assured that currently, for right now, things are business as usual. That will not, of course, last in the long term, but for now, it's business as usual. If you're unaware, they've already auctioned off and had bids on some of their properties in the UK. Diamond Comic Distributors are also the ones that handle Diamond Select. So I guess that'll go away to the dodo unless some other company buys it and continues it on. They are also huge in distribution, naturally. And they are also the authority of the AFA that does toy grading and certification and that sort of stuff. So will somebody else do that? Will that just go away and not be a thing anymore? You know, when you see something that's like a C9 box and it's AFA certified, well, it would be Diamond Comic Distributors that do that. So sad for Diamond because their business model is distribution and selects and the AFA. Happy for Pulse going the way of the dodo because it never, ever should have existed. Now, to take us out of here, the very last thing that I want to talk about is this guy. This guy is the original Top Spin. Love him. If I did not have him, I 150% would get the 2-pack, and I would be very happy to have the red and blue version. I am happy to have this. This guy has like no hollowness in the arms anywhere. His whole body is chunky and solid, no hollowness anywhere. And excellent, amazing, stellar transformation. Go back and watch my review of this guy. I fawn over him a lot. He was released in 2017 as part of Titan's Return 8 years ago. 102 grams of plastic for $17.99 Canadian. Fast forward from 2017 to 2019, and this is Spinister. And again, if you don't have Spinister, the Siege Spinister or the new Spinister is amazing. I would want this coloration because as a kid, I had the G1 Spinister, and the G1 Spinister was colored like this. I want the purple arms. I want the teal faceplate, and I want the blue down bottom. Again, you want my thoughts on Spinister, you can go back and watch my review of Siege Spinister. it wouldn't be different for the new one. The new one is just a change in color. And I think the black looks cool on the new one. And I think the blue arms look cool on the new one. And I even think the blue face mask looks cool on the new one. So if you're wondering, am I getting gypped getting the new ones of these that aren't these colors? No, get them anyway, because they're tremendous molds. This guy, 2 years later, remember, 102 grams of plastic, no hollowness, excellent engineering, excellent articulation. He was $17.99. 2 years later. 2 years later, maybe even a year and a half later. This guy was 82 grams, as excellent as he is, 82 grams, and $29.99. I don't understand why 20 less grams of plastic resulted in a $12 price hike. Again, no hollowness and stuff, but I'm telling you now, other than an ankle tilt, which Spinister has, and this guy doesn't, but other than an ankle tilt, absolutely no difference in articulation, and both of them have tremendous engineering. So that was a scam. Fast forward again. Not that long, though. Fast forward again a few years to 2021, I want to say, for Jazz. Late 2020, 2021. $36.99. So that's up another $7. 72 grams of plastic. So from, let's see, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. In 4 years, they went from 102 grams down to 72 grams, and they went from $17.99 up to $36.99. You want to know why I talk about the grams? You want to know why I talk about the plastic content that you get when you buy something? Because it matters. You don't like the whole shrinkflation, the paying more for less? Both of these are deluxe. This one, more than double the price of this one. Isn't that insane? And with that, my friends, I'm done. I'm going to get out of here. I didn't have an unboxing tonight. I love each and every one of you. We did not cut off. Whatever Starscream Wife did, she probably saved us. Yay! I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position, I need a drink. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through spring. Or, of course, hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. While you are at it, hit the subscribe button. Stick around, man. Have some fun with us here on the channel. And don't forget, not for a moment, man, not for a second, that you right there, you do make a difference in the world. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres or the old-fashioned way right here inside the videos.